I've never done it, but I left the house.
Yes! Wow. Yes!
Let's go!
Oh. Touchdown!
Drama in Studio J.
It's Jahan Dotson!
Holy shit. They're gonna ice him? I don't want to watch.
With the team as the holder. From 54 for
Bang!
the win. Oh!
Yes.
Wow. That was a
Great
crazy
little
catch.
draw on that puppy.
The following announcement has been paid for by
The ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you feel
Sport.
the excitement? And also,
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Is what I'm seeing for real?
Here live from Lincoln Financial.
I can't wait till this video's over so I can say its name anymore.
Music.
Wow.
Again, and I hate to do this again, but these are
What the hell? What is that? Whoa! What the hell?
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called? Got you, you cocksucker! I did not see that coming.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the ENM Podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Waugh, live at bar 4133, and underneath this hat, I have long hair, and I almost pulled it all out today as the Philadelphia Eagles became a 4-0 football team after defeating the Washington Commanders at home. Now, coming into this game, there were a lot of people that said that the Eagles were going to blow out the Commanders, that this was going to be the game that the offense got right, and that there was a complete game by all facets of the team. Well, they were right in some respects, but this was not easy at all. It was not a blowout. This was a game that went into overtime and caused the Heart Killer himself, that caused Chris Waugh himself to leave the house before the game was over, something that I never do and never have done and probably won't do again. Part of that has to do with, this is a sidetrack, and I was going to make another video about this because it really pissed me off. It has been a staple that when I watch the games, I sync the TV and the radio broadcast together so I don't have to hear the national broadcasters. I just hate them, and I really, really love Merrill Reese and Mike Quick. Well, Odyssey took over the rights to the radio broadcast, and now the radio broadcast has no delay at all. So before, when I just had to pause the game so that the radio could catch up, the radio's already ahead, and it's just impossible to do. So I had to leave the house during overtime so I could hear Merrill and Mike call it, because my frustration level, my stress level, and my anxiety was as high as it could possibly be. And if you're an Eagles fan or Commanders fan, that's how it had to be. Now, if you're a Commanders fan, you got destroyed by the Buffalo Bills last week. You're coming into Philly and you're thinking you're probably going to get blown out. So by any account, you have to be happy just to be there in overtime. If you're the Eagles and an Eagles fan like me, I saw some things in that game that I really, really liked, and then some that I really didn't like. The defense has been stellar the past 2 weeks, last week especially, and that win looks even better now as Tampa Bay won again today. But this week, they were not good. They were not good. At times, they flashed, but they were not good. The very first drive of the game, Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders, and look, they have a decent offense, but their offensive line is horrible. It's horrible. Now, I always thought this was a Jonathan Gannon thing, because whenever the Eagles last year or the year before would face teams with, oh, they're missing their right guard, or they're missing their left tackle, or this is a makeshift offensive line, for whatever reason, the defensive line would struggle, and it happened again today. Now, look, you're looking at the stats, and I'm not a stat guy, but you're probably seeing the Eagles had maybe, 5 sacks on Sam Howell today, but a lot of these sacks did not come when they needed to come. They did not. Sam Howell had almost 300 yards passing today. I think it was 290, a touchdown, and looked comfortable at times in the pocket, which he, with a makeshift offensive line like they had, he should never have looked that way. This game should never have been close. It came down, and I'm jumping all over the place, but it came down to literally 2 seconds on the clock, and a last-second touchdown pass from Sam Howell to Jahan Dotson. It should not have come down to that at all, but it did. And at times I was asking myself, where the hell is the pressure? Now look, big shout out, big ups to Nick Moreau, who was cut during the offseason from the Eagles right before the 53-man roster was announced. He makes his way back on the practice squad, had 3 sacks today, has looked good the past couple games. Zach Cunningham has as well. The one spot that we thought was going to be a major weakness actually was the only spot that I was happy with in this game. Our secondary got burnt at times, was leaving guys wide open. Like I said, our defensive line, Hassan Reddick finally got a sack, but I didn't see much there. I just did not see what I expected. Let me put it that way. Now, as far as the positives go to this football game, man, Jake the Snake, Jake the Make, Chicken Little, as Devontae Smith calls him, whatever you want to call him, he has just been clutch and automatic and is starting to get to that maybe best kicker David Akers level here in Philadelphia with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts looked like old Jalen Hurts again in the second half. If you don't want to believe it, go watch it again. His numbers were good. They're what you wanted. Over 300 yards passing. He had 40 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 2 really beautiful touchdowns to A.J. Brown, who was also a stud, almost 200 yards receiving. Devontae Smith made some amazing catches in the game. Dallas Goedert had a couple catches, and the run game was there, not like it had been. But look, this Washington Commanders defense is a stout defense. Their defensive line is really good. Chase Young is an absolute beast. Payne on that defensive line is an absolute beast. Their corners are young but are good. Forbes was talking a lot of shit, and he got it handed right back to him by A.J. Brown that ended up costing the Eagles at the end with a 15-yard taunting penalty. But all in all, when it came down to it and the Eagles needed points and they needed a win, when it was a tie game and they were trying to take the lead, Jalen Hurts marches the team down the field and gets that touchdown. Probably should have sat on the ball and kicked the field goal. That way time expired, but he did what he had to do, and he did it again in overtime when the defense got a stop and he had to come back and get some yards. Made a horrible decision on the intentional grounding, but didn't turn the ball over, and the Eagles got the win. It was everything, again, that you wanted to see from the offense. No turnovers, playmakers made plays. There's one thing that I just cannot understand for the life of me. And look, the play calling in the red zone is garbage. It's trash. There was 3 plays, quarterback draw by Jalen Hurts. The play before he got blitzed, had to get rid of the ball. And then on 3rd and 11, you do this outside run with Kenneth Gainwell. And this goes to my one major complaint. I'm tired. Look, I'm just tired of Kenny G. I'm tired of seeing Kenneth Gainwell in there. When you've got DeAndre Swift, who coming into this week was the league's second leading rusher behind Christian McCaffrey. He only got 1 carry in the first game. He had a touchdown today. He looks great when he has the ball in his hands. Now, look, again, the defensive line is better than the other defensive lines that they've played. But so there was some. Put on him, but to not give him the ball and clutch time, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I understand if you're leading by double digits in the fourth quarter and you want to sit the kid down, I understand that, but when he's on the roll like he is, I don't understand how he's not there at the end, especially at the end of that game. I just don't understand it. It's something that absolutely needs to be changed, but the Eagles got the win. With that being said, guys, 4-0 is 4-0. Keep the main thing, which is that W. I'll be talking to you guys later this week. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.
4th down and 1 from inside their own 35. They get it. 1 play later, Smith way downtown. Eagles trying to cut it to 1 score, and he's fired up about it. Yeah!
They start him young in Philadelphia. That
I need Eagle Nation to stand.